Welcome back to another Bops.io video. This is ranking the different guns. I'm going to rank them based on 3 different categories. So we're going to have the top tier, which is of course the best guns, then the mid tier, which are the mediocre guns, and then the low tier, which will be the lowest, like avoid those guns. And let's get started. The first gun is the Glock. As a secondary weapon, this gun is okay, but when you're going up against ARs and stuff, it's very unlikely to get a kill with it. Pistols aren't your primary source of damage anyways, but as far as a Glock goes, it's okay. I'm going to put it in the mid-tier category because it's not garbage. The damage output of this gun is very low. Even though you can shoot it multiple times, you're going to find yourself having to reload quite often, and it doesn't crit very often either. The next gun is the USP. The damage output is slightly higher than the Glock, but the crit damage is lower, although it does tend to crit more often. I would put this into the mid-tier category. Next is the 5.7. Now, this is a burst pistol, and I don't like this gun. It does not feel good. The damage output is low, the crit is low, the aiming just seems off. It is not my gun. I'm putting this one into the low tier category. Next is the Desert Eagle, and for a pistol, this gun is amazing. You could almost run this thing as a solo gun. The normal damage output is 50 and it crits for 125. The crit chance also seems pretty generous, so you can find yourself getting some pretty cool kills. For secondary guns, this is definitely top tier. Next we have the MPX. I have mixed feeling when it comes to this gun. Now, it does perform okay for an SMG, but it's not very good when it comes to long range. I also found myself having to reload rather frequently. But I am going to put this into mid-tier category as it does suffice well for a gun, but there's nothing special about it. Next gun is the P90. Now this thing shoots fast, and that is basically the only good thing about this gun. It's not good when it comes to long range distances. Its accuracy is very low. Now the fact that it does pump out bullets quick definitely does help you get kills, but the damage output just isn't enough. Luckily, it does seem to crit rather nicely. And all in all, it did hold its own, so I'm going to put it in the mid-tier category. Next gun is the Vector. Out of the 3 SMGs, I like this one the most, but I'm not exactly sure why. I think it might be because this one tends to crit more, and its accuracy seemed higher. Just like all SMGs, this does suffer from trying to shoot long range and having to reload too often. Now, even though this is my personal preference when it comes to SMGs, I can't put this in a higher category than the other 2 SMGs. I'm going to put this as a mid-tier gun as well. The next gun is the pump shotgun. Now, I'm just going to say it, in this game, shotguns suck. Now, you can get one-shot kills with it, but extremely rare. What is nice about this gun is you have to change up your playstyle if you're just running and gunning with the shotgun. It's more about checking the corners and then trying to lure players to the corners where you can then pump shotgun them, and that is actually enjoyable. But outside of changing your gameplay style and being able to get a few stealth kills, shotguns just cannot face the might of the AR. So unless they do something to buff this shotgun, it's not a gun I would recommend. It's definitely in the low tier category. Next is the assault shotgun. Now, this one here is not any better than the pump, probably worse in my opinion. Even at point blank, you're not getting single shots, it's taking multiple shots. It's just not a good gun. There's really no reason to use this. I would take the pump shotgun over top of this one. but you're going to be finding yourself struggling to get kills with this gun. It is definitely a low tier gun, not recommended. The next gun is the DMR. This takes multiple shots to kill an enemy. It is a semi-auto mess of a gun and definitely not something I would recommend. I would put this into the low tier category. The next gun is the Scout Sniper Rifle. Of course, being a sniper rifle, you do need to be accurate in order to get kills with this thing. And if you get a critical, you can one-shot somebody. But in my experience, it does take at least 2 shots to take an opponent down. The accuracy on this thing is supposed to be fairly high, although to be honest, it seemed to miss quite a few shots. You really need to aim your shots carefully, but as far as snipers go, I'm going to put this in the mid-tier category. Next gun is the AWP. Now this is a good gun. Definitely a top tier if I've ever seen one. It does have capped out damage, meaning that you can one-shot opponents. The accuracy of this gun is rather generous though, so you can get kills with it, but you might find yourself missing some pretty obvious shots. I really like that this gun can just one-shot people either long range or right in your face, but it's a good top tier gun. Next gun is the LMG. This is not a gun that is on my go-to list. Now it does shoot fast, which is a bonus, but I didn't find it very accurate, and the damage per second didn't seem very high, even though this does shoot rather rapidly. I would put this into the mid-tier category. Next gun is the HMG, and this is a good gun. I like this gun. Now, it is not very accurate. However, it does shoot rather fast. And this is where this gun shines. It pumps out the bullets so quickly, you almost don't have time to keep up to it. The inaccuracy of this gun is a con, but the sheer firepower of this thing definitely makes up for it. So I'm going to put this into the top tier category. The next gun is the AK-47. If you've seen my video, the top 3 best guns, this was the winner, the top one. And out of all the guns I've played with, this is definitely the most powerful gun. It outguns every other gun in the game. It is not an accurate gun by any means, but its sheer power is what drives this thing and makes it the most powerful. Definitely in the top tier. The next gun is the Spear, and everybody uses this gun. It is a very accurate gun, which works well for that, and as an overall general purpose gun, it works great. But definitely not my first choice when it comes to AR guns. It belongs in the mid-tier category. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, do me a favor and tap that like button, smash subscribe, and hit the notification so you can stay up to date with all of my content. Thanks for watching and keep those guns blazing.